Goddamn.
You know, the past couple days have been very interesting in terms of being a wrestling fan, and all I can fucking do is look at Triple H's face and laugh because, dude, John Cena has got to absolutely be one of the funniest dudes on the planet.
Oh, he really is.
This man done went into this man this man Triple H has been booking his opponents so bad that he made John fucking Cena have to go into business for himself and basically, without asking, ask for an opponent.
Yeah. He had to take the man that prides himself on never asking for an opponent, never advocating for this or that, to have to do all of those things because what Triple H has been doing has been so lame and bad.
My God. I just seen a tweet and it said what's been the best feud in wrestling this year? And one of the one of one of the comments under the post was TKO versus the fans. And
Literally.
after they released those WrestleMania ticket prices, I believe it. I actually fucking believe it because there is absolutely no way, and I mean no way, you can expect people to pay for 2 nights $3,800 for seats. So what is that?
That's insane.
$1,800.
$800.
Well, yeah, I mean, what is that? 1,700 a ticket?
About what, 1,400 a ticket? Yeah, about 1,400 a ticket. That's
Something.
insane.
Yep. Okay. I think you're okay. I think you bugged out on us for a minute. I think you're back now.
Never fails. Never fails.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I don't again I don't I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure exactly how much it is, but yeah, it would have had it would have had to have been about $1,700-$1,800 a night for a fucking seat. To me,
Literally, dude, about 1,400 a night for seats.
wouldn't 1,400 though come out to like 2,800?
No, you got the 1,000 to add. So to the thousands, 2,000, and then, oh yeah, oh my god, oh my god, my math is
Yeah.
so wrong. Holy shit, 17. That's insane, dude. That's
So
insane.
okay, so we were both wrong. It ends up coming out to about $1,900, or yeah, $1,900 across 2
You're so
nights.
bad. God damn.
I was, I was off
Yeah,
by
you were close to
I was
that,
off by
listen.
400. But dude, man, yeah, that actually end up if we did a rivalry of the year category, that would probably be it. But excuse me. But TKO, man. I don't know. I don't know. Absolutely one of the most ridiculous weeks for WWE, man. I genuinely still can't get over WrestlePalooza, and I genuinely cannot get over the level of annoyance that the show brought me because, again, you put together such an amazing card, and to go out and do some shit like that, they should absolutely be held accountable for that, and Triple H should be held accountable for that. His team should be held accountable for that. All of them should be accountable for that because That was absolutely ridiculous. That show gave me annoyance levels. And for those of my longtime viewers, you know, that show genuinely gave me annoyance levels to the level of All Out 2023. It's a show where you have all the potential in the world to put together an amazing card. And what you do is go out there and give us. You got everybody together. You got a bunch of wrestling fans together to watch a show. And what you did was give us a bunch of shit that I don't know who the I don't know who the fuck wanted to see. You opened the ESPN era with a fucking John Cena squash match where he was the one being squashed.
Yeah, it's not even like he was the squash. No, he was the squash match. Brock just squashed him for no reason to start the night. What the fuck?
You know, man, I I don't know. I don't know. That was again, I genuinely cannot get over. I cannot I cannot get over I cannot get over how massive of a fuck up WrestlePalooza ended up being. To the point, me and Sir K were talking about it, but you know, when they announced Chicago for SmackDown and then they announced WrestlePalooza for Indianapolis, I was like, what the fuck? Why didn't we get the pay-per-view? You know, why did they give us the SmackDown in Indianapolis? You know, I know we're a better crowd than fucking Indiana. So,
Oh yeah.
but in hindsight, I'm glad we got that random episode of SmackDown and not WrestlePalooza, because I would, if you guys thought I was mad on Saturday, I would have been a whole lot more pissed if we spend our hard-earned cash for the last time I seen John Cena be a fucking 8-minute squash match. Now I'm glad we got to see a 20-minute actual banger with Sami Zayn on SmackDown, because that was all but worth it. But again, they made the greatest of all time, the guy again who holds himself and prides himself on never lobbying for an opponent. You made him ask for an opponent.
Literally the most obvious opponent he has to ask for because y'all are too dumb to do it anyway. Makes no goddamn sense. It's wild.
It really is. It really is, man. And this is why this is again, this is why Triple H needs to absolutely be held accountable, because dude, this was John Cena's literal last year, and I didn't hear anybody, literally except for me and Sir K, on here complaining earlier in the year when he was giving us shit Cena opponents. Now everybody wants to complain because we're getting to the end and everybody's getting a bit scared because everybody's like, what the fuck? But we were complaining then about, now again, a lot of the positive things to come out of this farewell tour absolutely have nothing to do with Triple H and more just to do with the way John Cena is able to make things work a lot of times. And also his unbeatable aura, I think, was just so great for his heel run. But
Oh yeah.
man, these choice of opponents, again, I could complain about Money in the Bank, and I could complain about putting John Cena on a Saturday night's main event against R-Truth, because again, those two spots could have just went to better people. But I don't know, man. It is quite sad. It is quite sad, your choice of opponents, since you've since pretty much since you've turned them back babyface. Again, minus Money in the Bank and stuff, but what a joke. What an absolute joke.
So it is incredible joke on John Cena's great career, and this is how you treat him in the end. You treat him so bad, he has to finally ask for opponents. Good lord.
That is fucking ridiculous. How
That's insane.
WWE managed to get outshined by an AEW All Out Toronto show that wasn't even that great in its own right.
No.
But it was better than it was better than the piss storm that you put on.
Literally, that was the most mid-level AEW pay-per-view, and it was still better than WrestlePalooza with how bad WrestlePalooza promised and did not deliver.
Yes. Yes. And this isn't the first time this has happened this year with Triple
No.
H. WrestleMania, the mania that they hyped up for for from one end of the earth to the other. It was a letdown. WrestleMania 41 was a letdown. If it wasn't for both triple threat matches, the one to end night 1 and the one to open night 2, Jacob Fatu and LA Knight, and the moment, not the match, but the moment of John Cena winning number 17, that show sucked. It fucking
Mm-hmm.
sucked.
That
SummerSlam,
show was horrible.
another one they hyped up. Oh, it's first 2 nights. SummerSlam's going to be great. La-di-da, come out, spend 5 G's on tickets, whatever they had going on. Show was underwhelming.
Yeah, first night was almost completely meaningless. You overstack night 1 or night 2, and it still was pretty boring. Uh, good lord.
What the hell, man? um again, and then we get to WrestlePalooza and it's the same thing. Like Gotti says, bro, continued promises and continued letdowns. That's what we
Yep,
got.
that's how that is 2025 WWE over-promising and under-delivering.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So with that being said, how's everybody doing? Thank you guys so very much for joining us here today, live for another edition of Unscripted. This episode 266 of NHP Unscripted. Thank you guys so very much again for joining us here today. And if this is your first time watching, you guys do not know the show works. Every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Central, we are on here with NHP Unscripted. And every Friday at 3 p.m. Central, we are on here with the news. And for the pay-per-views for both WWE and AEW, we are live directly after the show goes off the air with the official post-show review. Man, if you guys did miss all the shows from the weekend, of Friday's episode of news mixed with Saturday's edition of your WrestlePalooza post-show review, you guys can now watch those live on all platforms. That is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to stay first, join us right here live every single Friday, like I said, for the news at 3 p.m. Central, and after the WWE and AEW pay-per-views for the post-show review, man. So, with that, if you guys have not got a chance to get your hands on some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video, man, where you can find this beautiful piece of Notorious Heels merchandise live on there as we speak. Again, link is at the top of the description of this very video, man. That is bonfire.com. Also, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know who we are here at NHP, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show. And as for the other half, we got my man Sir K here. Sir K, go ahead, tell everybody, please tell us what you are smiling about today.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. October's coming up. I'm excited for October. A lot of, good pay-per-view weekends in October is what I'm excited for, man. So, very excited for the month of October. And just very
Really?
excited in general, man. Everything's been, yes, really. It's the
Okay.
pay-per-views.
Oh.
Everything's been going good, man. Everything's been going real good, and just been chilling out and just waiting for October, man. Just waiting for October, but I'm doing good. Well, besides, WWE and just wrestling in general right now, from a week to week basis, I'm doing good. And I've been good, man. I've been good. Like Durante always asks, how's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How is everybody doing? In the live chat, Johnny's OG, Gotti, Mr. Welcome Down, cut they shiz off. How you doing, bro? How's everyone doing in the replay? What about you, bro? How are you doing?
Hey, man. Aside from it being, this feels like a throwback of being a WWE fan. I feel like I never used to be this annoyed with this company. However,
Feels like it's
Um,
2019 again.
bro,
More like 2018. But
yeah.
for me, 2019 and on, I kind of was less angry and just more exhausted with the bad Vince McMahon booking. But now I'm in a spot where I'm just angry again because I know it can be so good and it's not being good. So it really feels like throwback, man.
For me, I think my down years were 2017. You know, man, I just
Fuck.
remember I just remember my niece was just born, and I just remember sitting there every day with her watching Raw and being so pissed, thinking about one day if she's a wrestling fan, she's going to have to grow up and watch this bullshit like I'm watching right now. Now again, if you would have asked me that last year, I would have said, she's in a pretty good spot. I don't know where the fuck we're
Oh,
at now. I don't know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. The best I would tell her is prepare for the worst, I guess. So, man, it is but other than that, yeah, definitely feels like a throwback. And I haven't been this annoyed with WWE in a while. This annoyed at least. However, I'm doing okay, man. I'm doing okay. Just chilling, bro. Just chilling. Nothing too much. Getting ready for the end of the month and going into next month. It should be a pretty exciting month and whatnot. This fucking guy's already smiling. Who knows what for? But uh, but but other than that, other than that, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay, man. Just chilling, bro. Just chilling.
That's
So
good.
we got OG in the chat, and we have. I feel like Gotti's
Oh,
showing. Gotti's got to be showing up for his Mark Nash type introduction at this point. We have the owner of GDR LLC. We have the man known as Mr. Walk him down and cut they shiz off, aka Mr. Walk him down and run that marathon, aka Mr. Walk him down and cook that shit up. We have the
man.
man, the myth, the legend, my man Gotti. How are you doing, my brother? Thank you for joining us here today again for another Unscripted, man. So we appreciate you being here. He's throwing our nicknames out, man. I can't say the nicknames, but I love the nicknames. He's putting our
I do love
nicknames
the
there.
nickname.
Oh my god, I fucked it up. It's not is it
Finances.
G oh my god. I got you on Friday, bro. I can't do it again because I can't recreate the magic. I don't want to overdo it, right? But GDR Finances LLC. My bad,
Alright.
dog. My bad. Oh my god. I think I broke his heart. Wow. I'm
Damn.
sorry,
I'm
dude.
sorry. We're sorry. We'll
Dude,
get it right next
I
time,
got
man.
you on
We bought
Friday.
it.
I botched it. I 100% botched it. Um it's not okay, man. I definitely need to be held accountable for that for sure. Um but regardless, regardless, man. So yeah, we do have to start you guys off here. We do have
We
yes.
we do have something to announce for Thursday.
Sir K is going to announce for Thursday something right now.
The gaming stream, 12 o'clock Central. Call of Duty multiplayer Black Ops 6 gaming stream on Thursday,
Actually,
25th.
with the changing of schedules, we can
Okay.
actually we might be able to bump the time up a little bit. What do you think about like 1?
I'm down for one. Oh yeah, that's true. We can do 1 o'clock.
There it is. All right, 1 o'clock Central. There it
I
is.
like that.
Yes, 1 o'clock Central. We will be on here with another gaming stream. So appreciate Sir K always tapping in on the gaming stream, always keeping us grounded with the gaming stream and whatnot. So we will be live, Sir K. What will we be doing?
We will be playing Call of Duty Black Ops 6 multiplayer.
Multiplayer. There it is. I feel like you told me that. But 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 yes, we will be on here with the gaming stream 1 p.m. Central on Thursday. And we will be we'll be chatting it up, man. So if you guys want to come to the dance and see me use my thermal scope on some noobs online, then please be my guest, man. So yeah, you guys know how we do. We can talk about whatever you want, man. We can talk about wrestling, sports, movies, video games, food, whatever you guys want to talk about, bro. Literally whatever you guys want to talk about. Whoa. What I had to do a double take, man. You gotta look at the chat.
Lotion and tissues ready.
Gotti's
Okay.
got the lotion and tissues ready. I don't know. He must be ashy. I don't know what's going on with Gotti. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's
He
going
moving
on with the
different.
man, but he definitely is moving different, man. He definitely is moving different. But hey, bro, I got to be using the thermal scope. You want to know? I got tired of getting flashbang, bro. I got so fucking tired of getting flashbang because I remember there was it was a couple years ago. I can't even remember what Call of Duty it was, but people would just spam those things so hard, and all you
Oh,
could just see is smoke. All you could see is smoke, and I was like, you know what? I'm doing ass. All I could see is fucking smoke, and then I unlocked the thermal scope. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just cheese. All right, I don't even care anymore. So
might as well, man. Might as well. I don't blame you. There's a fucking setting you could do that changes the white flashbang to a it just darkens your screen. I selected it. That shit trips me out. I thought my fucking PS5 broke or just shut off when I got flashbang, bro.
well,
That was
that's hilarious. Yeah, man. Look. I'm not coming here to play the game right. I'm coming here to win. All right. So that's
exactly.
why I'm
I
pulling
don't
up with
play
the thermal
fair.
scope.
I'm a
Exactly.
cheese.
I'm not fighting fair. I'm gotta give him a little shot clock cheese, bro. But we will be live with the gaming stream on Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Be there or be square. So
Exactly. I want to be square.
exactly. So we have AEW All Out Toronto. Not a crazy amount to go over from the show. There was a couple things though. First off, FTR back in Toronto. They rocked
Ooh,
gear that said no flips, just fists.
damn.
Which was,
Class.
again, if you guys are big NXT heads, you will know. But if you aren't, then you're about to find out. That gear was very reminiscent of the NXT TakeOver Toronto gear, which, in my humble opinion, is the greatest tag team match of all time against DIY. A close second. A close second is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos from WrestleMania 39, but DIY versus Revival, TakeOver Toronto, 2016. Holy shit! What a night! What a fucking night, man! I'll absolutely never forget that, man. One of my childhood friends who had no idea who either of these teams were was fucking going nuts watching that match, and I will never forget it. Again, it was to me, it's the greatest tag team match of all time, but the gear was very reminiscent of that, and man, I loved it, bro. I love the gear, man. What'd you think of the callback there?
I thought it was an absolutely sick callback, dude. I loved the gear. They did, the hashtag top guys, that classic circle, no flips, just fist logo. Super sick. Fucking classic attire, man. And just also, I think they also did it for that, throwback NXT episode they did where, everybody was doing their throwback merch and whatnot from NXT. And I think that was their way of honoring that. And it was so
Dope.
fucking sick, dude. I'm glad they did that.
Dope. Yeah, very, very dope, man. Very dope. Um, Gotti asks if we are sports game fans at all. So, I do not watch like football anymore. So shout out to manager Logan. He always keeps me in the loop of what's going on football wise. However, for every here and there, I do play Madden. I bought College Football 25. I bought College Football 25, so I love that. And although it is hard, I do really like I do really like sometimes NBA 2K. However, those games do get a little sticky around that area because Sir K isn't he isn't
I mean,
an NBA 2K guy. But what were you gonna say?
if the people really want to see it, if you guys want to see me getting absolutely destroyed in NBA 2K, I'll be down to try it for a stream.
Oh man.
Might as well. I gotta put the difficulty on WNBA mode, but I'm down to try.
Jesus. So, um there are like, so I do have a lot of like retro games I think would be very fun to play. Like I think it would be very fun. Again, a lot of newer 2Ks I don't really like, but I have been building my
Well,
retro collection. I do have NBA 2K 14, 15 and 16, which to me that is like the crown jewel of 2Ks. Those are like my prime years. Um Playing 2K. I absolutely love those three games. As for Madden, my prime Maddens personally for me are probably 15 and 16. Those are the ones I had the most fun on. Um, so
yeah.
if they cleaned up like a my GM, I would be down to do it. It's just I
Oh
haven't
yeah.
heard of them cleaning it up. But
No.
maybe like maybe one of these days, me and Sir K will have to do our tag team. What was the Hardy
Ex-
Boys thing? The expedition of gold. What was it?
exactly. We'll have to do one of those again in 2K for you guys.
Yeah. So man, NBA 2K16, NBA 2K16. I always grew growing up, I liked football a lot. I was a huge Seahawks fan when I was in middle school, but I always loved basketball. Basketball. I always I don't know. I can't explain why. I just always loved basketball, man. So um that's good to hear. That's good to hear. I did not buy 2K24. I'm a big My Team guy, and once I heard that they took the auction house out, it was over. It was
Mhm.
absolutely over for me. I was absolutely ready to never buy a 2K again. However, they added it back for 25. I did buy 25. I do play 25 when I'm bored. Um, but um, but that's good to hear. That's good to hear. So, Grow, growing, I'm kind of a Bulls fan. My main team is the Mavericks, though. I've always been a Mavericks fan. My first year watching basketball was 2011, and that was the year that Dirk had, in my opinion, the greatest playoff run in NBA history. That man just that man was goated in 2011, bro. That man was goated. He was taking down all the monsters, bro. And to me, it was the greatest playoff run in history. But that's my personal opinion.
Exactly.
So I am a Mavericks fan. But I obviously grew up again being a kid from Chicago. I grew up just adoring Derrick Rose, and then obviously that moved on to Jimmy Butler. But yeah, so here's a little basketball knowledge for you guys, but but so FTR versus CNC. I've been to
Mhm.
two Bulls games. No, have I? I don't know. Hold on, give me a minute.
I think
So
I've only been to two.
yes, I've been to two. I've been to one. Yeah, these are back when I was both in middle school. Um, so my first one was it was against the Jazz. It was against the Jazz, and we actually got to like go on the court and like take pictures like on the court. So there's a picture of me, my pops, and my cousin that I have when we're literally center court. Um and then the other one was with no, I've been to three. The other one, my buddy, shout out my man Jose. I don't know if you're watching, but
Eight.
he won. So in middle school, they did like a drawing contest, and like it was for like something awareness month, and if you like drew the best if you had the best art, you got tickets to a Bulls game, and you had a +1. So shout out to my man Jose, because he can draw his ass off. He actually drew me a picture of the Fiend I got out in the living room. So shout out him. He brought me with to that, and then to repay the favor, a couple, maybe like a year later, there was another Bulls game in there was another Bulls game we went to against the Nets where Jimmy Butler hit a game winner. I'm sure you guys could find the clip on YouTube, but I was at that game. Jimmy Butler, he hit a game winner on the Brooklyn Nets. We were getting our ass kicked the whole fucking game, and we were getting our ass kicked the whole game, and then he did that, and that was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome experience. But man, I miss Jimmy in Chicago, bro. That was those were simpler times. They really were. But who knows, man? I would be open to it. I would be open to it, man. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But yeah, it is got a couple memories with the Bulls. I think one of the games too, I think it might have been the second one I went to. Powell had like 50, so that was pretty, or he had like 48 points or whatever. So that man was going crazy all game. But again, those were simpler times. Gotti, you're probably gonna hate me to say this, I also grew up. I actually wasn't the Warriors bandwagon, because I have a picture of me in a Warriors hat in like 2012 or 2013, because I was a really big fan of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. I always loved the Splash Bros. I wasn't the Warriors bandwagon. Again, I do have a picture of myself in a Warriors hat way before they were a dynasty, but I actually also did grow up a big Warriors fan, because I loved Steph and Klay very much.
Oh, yeah, I remember being with this man the first time he got his Curries. I'll always remember that. Always forget that. I always remember that.
Yes. Yeah, you were literally there. I can't remember what mall that was, but you were there. I had they were the Curry 2, they were like called the splash parties or the birthday parties or something. Something like that.
The birthday party.
Yeah, they were, it was something party. I can't remember. But they were all white, and they had like this confetti look to them. To this day, I still do own 2 pair of Curries, and I actually still do have those white ones. They're very beat up now, but I still do have them.
Oh yeah.
But to a Rockets fan, I had to tell you that, man. I couldn't keep the secret from you. But yes, December for the Nets game, that does sound about right. That does sound about right, man. So yeah, so there's some more basketball background for you. But okay, so moving on now to All Out Toronto, FTR versus CNC. Adam Copeland, this was probably my favorite part of the night. Adam Copeland pulled out, and I'll tell you why. Adam Copeland pulled out the 5-knuckle shuffle and an attitude adjustment. The whole crowd, which made me smile, because this is an AEW crowd, and sometimes they can be very weird about certain people, especially people that are like WWE lifers. The whole crowd did the whole "you can't see me," and then after the attitude adjustment, they broke out in Cena chants. That was dope. At an AEW show, they were chanting for, again, Mr. WWE. That was fucking awesome. That was absolutely awesome. Man. I love that. I love that very much, man. So that was dope. They were pulling out a bunch of stuff. 3Ds, Twist of Fate, Swantons, all that good stuff. Copeland, speaking of John Cena, Copeland decided to go Super Cena at the end of the match.
Dude,
And
that was the real tribute to Cena. He just fucking super Cena'd his way through the rest of that match after that point.
yeah, yes, he did. He quite literally just packed up Strap Wheeler with a spear. And that was about it. Stokely was not allowed to continue interfering in this match because of Beth.
What was
Beth.
that, Tron? How did you
Hey,
just say Beth, bro? Well, like, you couldn't, like, just put Beth and, like, I mean, obviously you can't put Phoenix, but, like, you could just put,
right.
like, an image of a Phoenix over Beth,
They
you
should have
know,
spelled
something like that.
they should have spelled Phoenix how you spell Ray Phoenix, Fenix.
You might as well, bro, because what is Beth? I thought Gangrel was coming out, bro.
Dude, the music was very Gangrel reminiscent. It was
It was
very like
brood ass
Kane
music.
vibe, yeah, like Brood, like dark vibes. And then we just see on the Tron Beth, and Excalibur's like, "Oh my God, it's Beth Copeland," which then made me think, why didn't they put Beth Copeland on the Tron? Why you just
Like,
put Beth? Who
Beth.
is Beth? What?
Who the fuck is
What?
Beth?
What?
Good lord.
So she chased Stokely Hathaway out, and after Copeland and Christian won, FTR attacked them. And then Beth and Copeland did this very aura farming moment where they are. Copeland's telling her, he's like, "Beth, go, get out of the ring." And she's like getting scared. She ends up, she's like, "I'm sorry." And she kisses him and then gets Spike pile drived by FTR. Like, bro, why didn't you just get out of the ring? You could have easily just got out of the fucking ring. But no,
Like,
she decided to take her Spike pile drive. What were you saying?
literally, bro, she decided to take that. She could easily just left and followed her husband's advice and just run out of there. But nah, she decided to pull an Adam Copeland, feel for herself, Aura Farm, and babyface Aura Farm, and fucking get destroyed by a spike pile driver on purpose. It was hilarious. She took that on purpose. Kayfabe wise, she 100% took it on purpose for no reason.
Man. Uh,
Gotta love those two.
I,
They really are perfect for each other. Equally as cringy, and it's amazing.
man. Yeah, that was quite the decision, man. But Copeland was obviously very upset as went up the FTR went up the um FTR went up the ramp, and I guess celebrated in Beth's downfall. So that was that. FTR got packed up. Honestly, man, I did expect FTR to at least win the first one, but Copeland, excuse me, Copeland, hey. He wanted to pay homage to the GOAT, I guess, and pull out a very Super Cena moment. So that was that.
He really did.
So that was that. Gotti, my first pair of basketball shoes were and ones, and I got made fun of until. Oh man, I got made fun of until the end of time, bro. Actually, oh no, no. And ones were probably my. I want to say they were my second pair of basketball shoes. Somehow this gets even worse. I swear to God, I can't make this up. My first pair of basketball shoes, I want to say I was in 5th grade. They were a pair of FUBUs. I legitimately, it's a joke. It's a joke. Everybody laughs about like, oh, you wearing FUBUs or whatever. I actually owned a pair of FUBUs, bro. I actually did. Which is the goofiest fucking name for a shoe brand ever. I don't know why they would do us kids like that, but my first pair of basketball shoes were fucking FUBUs, man. And
Hey,
I
bro.
loved them. I loved them, but man, I got made fun of so hard. I got made fun of so hard, and then it didn't get any better when I bought my An ones. I was like, man, okay, maybe these kids are gonna stop making fun of me. And they still made fun of me. So it was.
Hey, bro.
Mhm.
Ain't nothing beats my starters, bro, that y'all called finishers.
Bro, the
Ain't nothing
the
beats
finishers were goated, bro. I remember those orange pair of it was like black and orange pair of finishers, man. This is a goated pair of shoes.
fucking finishers. I hated you guys. This shit was hilarious.
You had those for a while too. You had those for a
I had
long
those for a
time.
minute. Most definitely had those for a minute. They fucking worked.
Bro, the finishers were goated. You literally wore those until they like damn near like
Until
disintegrated.
they disintegrated. That's how it was back in the day.
Yeah,
War
bro.
until they disintegrated.
Yeah, bro. I remember. I think I was. I can't remember what grade I was in. I might have been in 7th grade. I finally got a pair. I think 6th grade. I finally got a pair of Nikes. 6th grade. Yeah, 6th grade. I finally got a pair of Nikes. 7th grade. I finally got a pair of Jordans, and I was just ecstatic. I was absolutely ecstatic. I wasn't getting made fun of anymore. But man, I was yeah, definitely went through a lot. Shoe culture is big where we're from, and I was not tapped in for the longest
I was
time.
not.
I
No.
was not tapped into shoe culture. Not because I didn't want to be, because I for sure was on my
Oh
phone
yeah.
looking at all the KDs and the Jordans and the Derrick Rose shoes that were coming out at the time. Just couldn't afford it, bruh. Just couldn't afford it.
All you
But
could do
yeah,
was window shop.
yes. I was downloading those sneaker apps like I was dead ass about to buy some shit, knowing that I had not a dollar to my name in in 6th grade, bro. Um but but um Chris Statlander won the Women's World Championship. She rolled up Tony Storm and shockingly won the Women's World Championship.
I know. It was good. Very shocking in that moment. Me and you were so goddamn shocked to fucking have that bell ring. But
Dude,
it's a good decision. Tony had a great run as a women's world champion, and I think good things have to come to an end at the end of the day, and you have to want more of it. So I think it was a good time, and I think Chris Statlander was a good person to transition it on to.
you tell me you didn't want Thekla to bring the
No,
women's world to bring the women's
no,
world title to the Triangle of Madness?
I feel nothing for Tekla. Nothing at all. Sorry.
Um, I completely agree. I completely agree. You know, Tony, I love Tony Storm. However, Tony is now, don't get me wrong, one of Mercedes, at least to my knowledge, I believe one of Mercedes' like favorite opponents is Statlander. She talked about how they had that magic. So this is probably all gearing up for Stat versus Monet again. And for Mercedes to
100%.
eventually end up taking the title from her. I'm sure of it. But you have somebody in Chris Statlander who almost never gets the light of day, and you had an opportunity here to do something shocking, and something that is shocking but good. Something that is shocking but good. A lot of times, you know, especially lately in WWE, we'll see a shocking outcome and it absolutely fucking sucks. Like Brock Lesnar squashing John Cena in 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Yet you have people that will ride WWE till the end of the fucking earth and say, "Oh, this is shocking. You guys asked for shock, right?" This is not what I asked for. I didn't ask for John Cena to get squashed by Brock Lesnar 5 dates left in the farewell tour just for you to say, "Well, it's shocking." Didn't you guys ask for shock and unpredictability? This is good shock and unpredictability because you have, again, somebody like Statlander who it feels like they brush her to the side half the time. And you also have somebody like Tony Storm who, you know, I love Tony. I think she's the best women's wrestler on the fucking planet. But it was time for the reign to come to an end. It was, sooner rather than later. Before it got unbearable. And she dropped the championship to Stat. Stat rolled her up, so Tony actually took the pin there. And Statlander won the Women's World Championship, man, and you love to see it. I'm happy for Statlander, man. I really am. it's about time she won something, and it's about time they actually started using her, man. So I can appreciate Tony Khan for doing that. I can appreciate Tony Khan for doing that. And I can appreciate Tony Khan for actually giving us some good shock on Saturday, September 20th.
Speaking of some good shock, that I don't know if I'm just giving now, but a match was just announced for a certain pay-per-view. When we get on to, the WWE side, I'll
Okay.
let you know. All I'm gonna say is, I haven't seen it from WWE yet, but I'm seeing the graphic right now. It's official. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
Man, the last time is now.
Man, fuck hell yeah. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
Man, okay. Wait, give me a minute.
I haven't seen it from WWE yet, but I'm seeing the graphic, and people are saying it's official, but it's not on their Twitter yet, unfortunately.
Okay. I was gonna say I went on their Twitter and I just seen Cody and Seth, and then I got sad. Um,
You poor soul.
so let's see.
Oh, there it is. Triple H tweeted it. This, of course, he fucking tweeted it.
You fucking asshole. All right, let me go to his. Let me go.
It's official, man.
We all want to see, motherfucker. Clearly, you didn't want to. You bitch. Nah.
He's such a bitch, dude.
Okay. Now you're done. Now he's done. Okay. Okay. Well. Anyways, we had. Probably what is my overall match of the night. We had Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley
That shit was fire.
in a
I
coffin
love that
match.
shit.
This match was great. This match was absolutely great. You obviously know with AEW, every time they do a hardcore match, this is indie garbage. This is for a bingo hall. This is for this appeals to nobody. Yada yada yada. I love a death match. So fuck you. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man. Again, I don't. You can't listen to these kind of fans, man. You can't listen to these kind of fans because, case in point, this match ended up being really great, and I actually really loved it. And I think both guys delivered in this coffin match, and I think they both did great, man. I think they both did great. They put on a brutal match, where obviously they were trying to sell the fact that they were killing each other. Bryan Danielson handed over a plastic bag for Darby Allin to suffocate Jon Moxley with. It was pretty great. But yeah, so this was great. I love this coffin match. Jon Moxley ended up winning because of a returning Pac. The short hair on Pac, he even more so now looks like a Lord of the Rings character.
He really does. He looks like fucking Austin Aries for some godforsaken reason. Don't know why his hair shorts now. He looks so weird. Plus the street clothes, that was a weird look for Pac, man. I'm not used to seeing that man like that. But was a really great match. Loved it. I love Brian on commentary, and him during this match specifically was fucking hilarious. This man gives Darby Allin a fucking duffel bag with the plastic bag in it, yelling "Do it" to fucking Darby Allin. Hilarious, goated, and it was just a really good fucking match. I loved it.
100%, man, 100%. So that was that. We also have the AEW Tag Team Championship ladder match where Brodito retained the Tag Team Championships, but this was not the most intriguing part of the match, as afterwards the lights go out and we see the debut for a returning Jack Perry. Jack Perry returns to confront the Young Bucks. However, he is not their friend anymore, as he he started attacking the Bucks, and they started attacking him back. And when they went to give him the BTE trigger, or the EVP trigger, or whatever they call it, the lights went out, and the lights came back on, and Luchasaurus. Well, the lights came out. We ended up getting this dope video package. We ended up getting this pretty dope video package with it was Jack Perry like digging up a grave, and then bringing it to a lab. And then obviously, if you guys remember when we seen the return of Luchasaurus, there was somebody in a denim coat that was reviving him, and everybody thought, like, oh my god, could this be Jack Perry? And it actually ended up being Jack Perry. So we seen Jack Perry, tell Luchasaurus to take off the belt that said kill switch. So he took it off. They hugged as Tarzan Boy rang out through Toronto as everybody started waving their hands back and forth again and singing Tarzan Boy. What did you think of this moment, man? To you, where did this moment rank amongst the shows for All Out? Because I've seen everybody clowning on this for some reason. I actually love this, man. So how'd you feel about it?
I love this, man. I love this. I'm glad that they're back. The match, that was right before this was good. It was a really good match. I'm not the biggest Brodito guy, but it was a good match nonetheless.
Okay.
No, not at all. I'm still so confused by their friendship, but overall, it was a good match, and this moment was fucking so dope, dude. I'm glad Luchasaurus is back, and I'm glad he's with Jack Perry. I'm glad Jack Perry's back. I always clowned on him, for various reasons, but Jack Perry, at the end of the day, is really fucking good, man.
Yeah.
He's just surrounded by unfortunate events, and that led to an unfortunate character overall, but I'm glad he's back, and I'm glad Jurassic Express is back. I hope, they're not all like, happy and whatnot. I hope they still got, they both of those guys had character progression, and they're both, darker, edgier versions of themselves, and I hope they keep that. But I'm very glad they're back together, man. And hearing Tarzan Boy, that shit hit, bruh. That was a dope ass fucking moment, man. I loved it.
It was, man. You could see how happy those guys were to be back together. We're also getting the Acclaimed back together. So I really hope AEW is able to capitalize on putting, Christian and Copeland are around now. There's obviously history with them in Jurassic Express. That's going to be a good match. You obviously got the Young Bucks, the godfathers of that division. With the Acclaim getting back together, you actually have a chance. Is he going to? Probably not, but you actually have a chance to rebuild your tag team division, man. So again, will he? Probably not, but he's got a chance. He's got a chance. That's not to say that the shot to do it is not there, because it definitely is. And I hope they can. I hope they can, man. So, as for the ladder match, the ladder match was great. They kept referring to Hechicero as the mad scientist of Lucha Libre. That has got to be one of the most oralist nicknames I've ever heard in my entire life. But Jurassic Express is back. And I am very glad to see it, man. Again, I know a lot of people were like clowning on it. I know Jack Perry still gets a bad rap for all the CM Punk stuff, man. But I actually like Jack. I think he's a good talent. And I honestly think the CM Punk stuff was really just an unfortunate circumstance. You've even heard Punk before say that he likes Jack. I think it was just a unfortunate situation that happened, and I hate that people hold his career. Everybody's moved on. Everybody's moved on. So there's no point to keep holding Jack Perry to this situation that happened with CM Punk, man. I mean, now AEW didn't help their case by basically just giving him an anti-CM Punk gimmick. But now that he's back with Luchasaurus, I hope we can get him back to a point where, he can now move on from this whole thing too, man. So, I'm excited to see them back together. They're obviously a historic tag team in AEW. They're one of the better tag teams in AEW history, man. And I'm excited to see them back together. And it was a really dope moment. Honestly, one of my favorite moments of the night. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely, man. I loved it.
And then we had Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher putting on a 40-minute main event. I thought this was great, man. I thought this was absolutely great. Bryan Danielson standing up and just marking the fuck out was some of the funniest shit you will ever see in your entire life, man. The, the, this
Loved
dude,
it.
I think Hangman kicked out of Kyle's brainbuster, and Danielson just stands up, and they put the camera on him, and he's just like, oh my God, Hangman kicked out. This match is incredible. Just going fucking nuts. And Don Callis is obviously fucking there as well. And even Don is just standing up, just jumping up and down in shock. Putting Bryan on commentary is absolutely that is one of the greatest decisions you've ever made, man. I mean, that is too funny, man. That is just too funny.
He is fucking great on commentary. He's not only just a good commentator, but he is so fucking passionate. It's fucking hilarious, dude.
Oh, I
Fucking
know
just
he's itching.
yelling. Oh, this shit is just he's fucking itching to get back in that ring, and you could tell his excitement is through the fucking roof, dude. He's fucking amazing. Apparently, there were some AEW fans criticizing his commentary because
Ugh.
I think they said during the unified title, whatever the fuck it's called, triple threat, during like the first like 10 minutes, everyone was kind of just hitting their spots, and he called that out. And I think he said something along the lines of, is someone going to try to win a championship here at that point in the match? I think that's good. I think it's good to call out stuff like that, and a lot of fans were defending it, and I love Danielson on commentary. He's great.
Well,
He's fucking so passionate. It's hilarious, and he just gets it.
he does get it, and I don't understand that argument at all, because especially, like, you got to understand, Bryan is a performer. So a lot of times, like, that's one thing I love about like Nigel McGuinness or like Corey Graves commentary is they point out things you wouldn't normally notice, but also
Yeah.
he's a fan, right? So like 9 times out of 10, when you're watching a spot where a guy is standing right on top of the ladder, right next to the championship, but he chooses to jump off and do a spot, isn't the only logical question, like, grab the fucking titles, you moron, what are you doing?
Exactly, exactly, and I'm glad you have someone like Brian on commentary to call that out, man, because he does love, the spots and all that and whatnot, but he's also a very logical person in the ring, and of course he's gonna call that out, and I like calling that out because it's good to do that.
No, 100%, 100%, and yeah, I personally love that. I think that's a good thing. Yeah, I think so. Brian, I think I seen a clip. I don't know where it was from. I think it might have been from a Dynamite where Callis and Brian are on commentary and Hechicero's in the ring. I don't know if you've seen this clip.
Oh, I seen
And
this clip.
yeah, and he's like, Don Callis, he says to Brian, he's like, have you ever wrestled somebody with the technical prowess of Hechicero? Have you ever wrestled anybody like him? And Brian literally just says in the most just blank tone ever, he's like, well, yeah, I've wrestled Hechicero. And, and and Excalibur just starts dying laughing, as anybody fucking would, because Don, you're on commentary for like every one of these guys' matches. How the fuck did you not know that? And the way Brian just said that in the most like weirded
Just like,
out tone ever, like, yeah, you moron, I've wrestled him. Like, oh man, dude,
ugh,
oh,
hilarious.
Brian on commentary. Goated move. He is he is almost too passionate for his job. But I will say, Brian being excited kind of reminds me of how Pat used to be excited in the Vince era. I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah.
you guys, nowadays Pat McAfee rather annoys me because he just
Same.
says a bunch of stupid shit as to where, like, when he first came in the company, and I think it was 2020 or 2021, like, I remember Pat McAfee's biggest problem at the time was that he jumped up and he got excited because, like, Vince didn't like it. Vince didn't like, him getting, like, jumping up and being excited for what he was
Right.
watching. That to me is not
Mhm.
a problem. Bryan Danielson being passionate is not a problem. Where it becomes a problem is when you are saying random shit. You don't know what the fuck. You just sound like you don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, I'll never forget Bray's last match. Pat was on commentary, and the whole time he's like, "What is he doing? What is that? What? Why? What does that mean? Oh, what is this mask? Oh, who is this guy Bray's with? What is this? What? What? You're doing the character absolutely no justice. And as a matter of fact, you're making Michael Cole's job harder because now he's got to sit there and explain this to you like you're a 5-year-old, and in turn, like, explaining some of Bray Wyatt's stuff. Michael Cole just sounded like a dumbass. Like, "Oh, this is Bray's
Oh,
Uncle
yeah.
Howdy. Is that his real uncle?" Like, dude, shut up. I like
Oh,
seriously? Like, come on. Um and then again, we just talked about it with WrestlePalooza. Oh, Brock with the suplex palooza. Oh, this the yeet palooza. Like, dude, shut up. I mean, again, like, I when Pat is excited, I don't mind Pat. When Pat just says
yeah.
stupid shit that you can't even go off of, you're not doing anything but making Michael Cole's job harder. I'm sorry. That's just what it is.
Literally, dude. Literally.
So, I don't know. Again, and I hate saying that because I don't think Pat is a bad commentator. I just think sometimes he does not do Michael Cole any favors. And I think, we went from Pat being excited, which again, I do not mind at all. Please be excited. That's all I can ask from a commentator, is please be excited. But don't be annoying. So,
No, exactly. Please.
unless you're Vic Joseph, because him being annoying is actually kind of funny at this point, I will say.
Oh,
He
100%.
that man is just that man is so fucking bad and annoying. It's like, dude, please just get off commentary, bro. Um, so Hangman, Hangman defeated Kyle Fletcher in a 40-minute match. I think it was like 38 minutes it ended up clocking in at, with a buckshot lariat. And what can I say, man? Hangman is the guy to carry the torch, bro. He is the guy.
100%. He's the guy. He's AEW's main character for a reason, dude. And
Yes.
Hangman's always goated. And I love Kyle Fletcher. I really wish he could have got a TNT title defense on this pay-per-view. But he did get this, which was a good match at the end of the day. I just wish he got to do his own thing.
100%. Yeah, I wish he would have too. However, Adam Page is like I said, Adam Page is the guy, and it is just nice to see how just well everybody puts over Kyle Fletcher, because out of all the pillars that AEW has had, um it is nice to see a guy like Fletcher who is young, but also he doesn't get into a bunch of bullshit and he takes what he does very seriously, and it really just does give, future star of the company vibes. And it is nice to see because,
Oh,
again, a lot of these pillars, and you guys know who I'm talking about, a lot of these pillars, um, they get into a bunch of backstage problems. They don't take it seriously. And 9 times out of 10, they just end up looking like goofballs. But Kyle Fletcher actually seems like a straight laced guy, and he, like, no bullshit. He's serious about what he does, and he takes this serious, and he shoulders the responsibility that the company, that whatever responsibility the company does give him seriously, and that's all you can ask for in a young star.
most definitely, man. Most definitely. You wish you had that more.
For sure. So, with that being said, man, that is everything for AEW for the week. And we do have an official word from our sponsor here at NHP, W Energy. W is an energy drink loaded with vitamins and nootropics formulated to improve focus without getting the jitters. W is a clean formula that is sugar-free, zero-calorie, free from fillers and artificial colorings with 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. You can get your W products today with the link below and code NHP at checkout to save yourselves 10% on your next W purchase.
Really, always got to shout out W, whether workout, whatever you may need the energy for, man. Whether it's Dynamite, whether it's Raw, whether it's SmackDown, or whether it's Crown Jewel, man, that's coming up. That's going to be very early for us U.S. audiences, 7 in the morning if you're Central Time, man. So if you need to stay up and you want to be focused on the show and not have the jitters and have it taste good all at the same time, try W. Never let you down.
There you have it. We do have... This has been your official word from our sponsor, my bad, here at NHP. Thank you, as always, to the great people over at W. And yeah, that is yikes. That is quite the time slot for a wrestling show, man. But who can go wrong with a little bit of breakfast while you're watching wrestling, right? So
Exactly.
there you go.
That's always the nice part.
No,
You get
for sure.
breakfast, you're watching the show, and at least one of those matches I'm very excited for.
Ooh, come on, bro. Come on, man.
Thank God, dude.
However, before we get to Monday Night Raw, we got a little bit of SmackDown. When I say we have a little bit of SmackDown, I mean a little bit. We actually just have one thing to go over here. Because there was a vignette that was aired right before the main event contract signing segment with Cody and Drew. And the vignette was from Solo Sikoa. And he talked about how there was nobody else that in the family that doesn't let him down other than one man. And that's you, Tongaloa. Tongaloa walks into frame and he tells him that he's sorry that he let him down and he appreciates him because he brought gold to this family. There was absolutely no mention or sight of JC, the nerd, Mateo, or Hikuleo. So a lot of people took this as, and I'm one of these people because that's just, you kind of just threw it in our face. I guess the MFTs are done. And I guess JC, the fire hydrant, is, I guess he's done. I guess Hikuleo's done too.
Crazy, dude.
If this group really is done, are you sad about it? How do you feel about it? What were your thoughts? And what do you think? Where do you think what remains of the group goes from here?
I definitely am not sad. I think it is unfortunate that the group didn't work out, and I think a lot of it is WWE's fault that they put on Solo for this group not working. At the end of the day, if you're really looking back at it, if you wanted to do this separate bloodline group, you really should have had Solo in that Ulafala, at least for a little bit, to legitimize that group, because, man, you done cooked that man at that time, and he never rebounded with that group from that. But the group was fucking horrible. I mean, Hikuleo was absolutely fucking pointless, dude. He was really bad. Jeff Cobb, you bring him in. Jeff Cobb is an amazing talent, and you literally made him the biggest dork for no reason and completely killed all his aura, and stuck him in a group that also didn't have aura. And it was not good at all, man. It was a bad combination. And it's really unfortunate, man. I think the MFTs were just an unfortunate just mishandle by WWE. And it sucks, man. And from the vibe of that vignette, I do think they are done with those two in that group, and I think, I think when Tama Tonga comes back, he will be back in that group with Tonga Loa, and I think that's the group they're gonna want for Solo.
Mhm.
Um, just sucks it didn't work out, man. I hope they repackage Jeff Cobb into, maybe some more Jeff Cobb-esque character. And as for Hikuleo, I can't believe Meltzer was right, and
He
he
didn't
really
make it.
didn't make it, man. He didn't make it. But what do you think about this?
Well, I'm getting the same vibe you're getting, man, and you know what they say: the vibes don't lie. I
They do
think the
not.
I think yeah, I think this group is absolutely cooked. Like you said, they tasked Solo, a guy who overall Solo is great, man, but he just lost his feud to Roman Reigns. For a brand new bloodline type group to work with him at the helm, you probably should have had him win that feud, but I know you want to make Roman Reigns look strong. He's your top star or whatever. So I get it to that degree. But what I don't get, Solo is, at the end of the day, no matter if you had him win or lose, Solo is not Roman Reigns. He is not going to be able to uplift two unknowns that you
Hmm.
book to not really be that good. Jeff Cobb is an amazing talent, but you booked him like shit. He was basically Jacob Fatu's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And
Yep.
Hikuleo, you might as well have not even fucking signed him, because apparently all you trained him to do out in the PC was a fucking big boot and an uppercut. So I don't really know what you expected Solo to do for these guys when you did not put anybody here in a position to succeed, because the group, again, was breakfast, lunch, and dinner for Jacob Fatu. I mean, yes, they, got the one up on him a couple times, man, but nobody's seen this group as a threat to Jacob Fatu, and it's because all of the guys in the group are not that good. Tongaloa is indeed the GOAT, but he's not a legitimate guy. He's not a legitimate guy.
No.
Neither is Hikuleo or Tali Tonga, whatever the hell his name was. And then you got Jacob Fatu, or not, JC Mateo. He's a fucking nerd. He's a fire hydrant. I mean, this fucking guy's running around. He sounds like a nerd. I mean, your best shot with him was keeping him quiet, because every time he opened his mouth, I didn't want to do anything other than laugh. Where's Jacob, man? I want Jacob. I mean, the guy sounded like a little white kid. I mean, he sounded like a little fucking nerd, man. I mean, what do you expect me to honestly think that Fatu? Do you honestly expect me to think Fatu was to be scared of a guy that sounds like that, and he's about as tall as Hornswoggle? I mean, did you honestly think he was going to pose a threat to Jacob Fatu? I mean, it just doesn't
Bro is
make.
dead ass like my height.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't, and it's like, again, and it's like, obviously he's a little short guy, right? He's a little shorty, so like, look, nothing wrong with that. If you wanted to have him as the enforcer as the group, just keep him quiet and have him beat the shit out of people, because we know he can beat the shit out of people. Just have him be
Yeah.
quiet. Just have him be quiet, man, because as soon as he opened his mouth, it was over. It was fucking over from that point on. I mean, again, there's a reason I always called him the nerd, is because he just sounds like a little fucking nerd when he opens his mouth. I mean, it's just bad. It's just really bad, man. But the group didn't work out. Again, I'm not necessarily hung up about it. I didn't think the group the group was a watered down version of the Bloodline. I mean, that's what, again, like, that is what the group that is what the group is, man. And again, the only people that I guess it really sucks for is the Wyatt Six, because they were going to feud with them. I don't know why they didn't keep the group around and then just maybe write it in story for the Wyatt Six to just, dismantle
And
them.
him. Hmm.
I think that would have made a little more sense than just you coming out one week and being like, "Hey, I only fuck with you." That's basically what Solo told Tonga Loa.
Basically.
You're the only one I really fuck with. But yeah, I mean, It just sucks because you wasted a lot of time. You wasted, debuts, a Backlash debut with JC Mateo, a Night of Champions debut with Hikaleo. You just wasted a lot of time. You wasted a lot of valuable time. And again, I don't know how you didn't do test runs to see how this group would work and look on screen together. And I don't know how you didn't take the right precautions to see if this is something that you really wanted to do. Again, this is why you don't just do things for shocking television. You look at like the Wyatt family. We always hear about like the original incarnation of the Wyatt family. They had multiple members in the group, but some of them got cut because they didn't like the way they looked on screen together. And then obviously the final cut ended up being Rowan and Harper. And in my opinion, that's one of my favorite factions of all time.
Oh, yeah.
But they did trial runs. I don't know how you don't do trial runs with a group that's going to play this big of a part on SmackDown. And again, the one guy can't wrestle his way out of a wet paper bag. And the other guy's a fucking nerd.
Nerd.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But the MFTs is dismantled, and I can't really be shocked. I honestly cannot really be shocked as to why the group didn't work. So, yeah. WWE did, like I said, they put nobody in this group in a position to succeed. So
No, nobody.
That was that. And that was pretty much everything for SmackDown, man. And now, moving on to Monday Night Raw here today. We have the September 22nd edition of Raw from Evansville, Indiana.
I love it. Big city.
Yeah, huge city feel. Huge city. All the homies fuck with Evansville. So, the show opens up and they're doing like their walk-ins. There was a like segment where in the background of LA Knight walking into the building, you see Rusev bullying Dominic into giving him a title shot, which will come into play.
Just bullying the shit out of him.
Legit. So, I'm just saying. Take that belt off Dominic if it means that Dragunov will come back for Rusev's head.
Oh, let me get that match, bro. That shit will be insane.
Bro, I'll say if I will be a little bit scared though if he comes back immediately after Rusev wins the IC championship because
he'll just lose.
If you pack Dragunov up for Rusev, we have some serious issues because that is just, I would like to see Dragunov be the guy to dethrone Rusev for the championship. Yeah, do not have Rusev pack Dragunov up. I swear to God.
No, literally. Maybe Dragunov can come back and feud with like Sheamus first.
Yeah.
And, then go to Rusev, something like that, because I definitely think he should be the one to take it from him. But most definitely, if he comes back and instantly like face to faces with Rusev, he's 100% just gonna lose to Rusev and then hopefully not do nothing.
Do Dragunov justice, bro. Do not do none of that bullshit this time around. I swear, man. So, the open of the show is Cody Rhodes. He's on Raw for the first time in a minute. Cody. Oh, God. Cody's out there. And he does his shtick. He says he would love to add another Crown Jewel Championship ring to his finger. Seth Rollins and The Vision come out.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, right? He comes out. And he says, ever since SummerSlam, when me and you both walked out as champion, I've had Crown Jewel circled on my calendar. He says, we've both had to jump through hoops to get here. Champion versus champion, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, two of the best in the world in their prime. He says, it's simple, but it's not that simple because it's you and me. It's deeper than that. It's bigger than that. He says he's pretty good at reading people, and he knows what the fans think about him. He knows what the locker room thinks about him. He knows what the internet thinks about him, and I don't care. He says the fans don't know what's good for them. That is why they need a visionary to tell them what's good for them. He says, what I want to know is, what do you, Cody Rhodes, think of me? Cody says, it's complicated, but it shouldn't be. He said he made questionable choices. He then looks over at Paul Heyman, and he waves at him.
Mr. Heyman.
He says, Seth, you changed my life. He says, brother.
Oh, man. Oh, Cody.
He says, I came back at WrestleMania, and it was against you. He says, Hell in a Cell. He says, I came back at WrestleMania, and it was against you. And if, he says, and Hell in a Cell in 2022 changed my life because without that injury, I would have never known what I was capable of doing. He says, you changed my life at WrestleMania 40 when you were my Shield. He says Rollins helped validate the Rhodes name and bring the World Heavyweight or the WWE Championship into his family. He says, I just had your wife on my podcast the other day. He says, it's Wrestling 101 to come out here and run you down and exchange remarks. But I ask you, Seth Rollins, what do you think of yourself? Because you're not just one of the best. You can be the absolute best. But the absolute best is not standing behind these three goons. He asks Seth, what can I do for you? Seth says, before we talk about your ring, let's talk about this watch. He shows the Rolex that Cody gave for him the night that Cody gave to him the night of WrestleMania 40. He says he says he has not worn it until tonight. He asks Cody if this is a real gift or a token gesture. He says Cody lies about being the right person to lead the industry into the future. He says he says, Cody, you say you're the quarterback. You say you're QB1, but what does that say about me? Do you think that I am not good enough? Or do you think I'm not as good as you? He says they aren't goons. I hope not.
Hope not.
He says the vision is an idea of what the future looks like, and that future goes through me, not you. He says, Cody, you can be the quarterback, but you just have to be my quarterback. He says, if you don't agree with that, at Crown Jewel, the truth will come out. The truth is, I am the alpha. Cody says, you're the alpha. You got a lot of questions for me, but I just got two for you. He says, in the matches they had, they were all one-on-one. At Crown Jewel, will it be one-on-one? And more importantly, out of all the times me and you have faced, how many have you won? Cody leaves. Cody leaves the ring, and as he's leaving, the Bronze, they block him, but Seth signals for them to let him by. As for this exchange, I mean, I like it. I'm interested to see it heat up a little bit more with these two as time moves on. But I think for a first exchange, I think this was good. I think what they talked about was good. And I think everything they talked about made sense. You know, Seth obviously feels slighted by Cody Rhodes thinking he's the captain or QB1. But he obviously feels slighted by that for obvious reasons. And Cody Rhodes kind of dinging it into Seth that, he's never beat him before. So I like it a lot.
It was all right, man. It was all right. I didn't mind it. I like the end part with Cody. I didn't really like the beginning part with Cody. Like Cody does this thing where, he tries to like purposely not do like classic wrestling stuff. Like he says in his promo, it's wrestling 101 to come in here and run him down. And he doesn't do that. He hypes him up and like I get it, but sometimes with Cody, it just comes off as just so jockey. You know what I mean? Like he tries to do it to purposely be different, and I respect it. But man, sometimes it's just so jockey, man. I like the end of it with Cody though, and I like Seth's part overall, man. It wasn't bad. It was fine, and I'm literally just building this to Crown Jewel, which is going to build on the War Games, which after that we'll finally get back to well, finally is used sparingly, but finally get back to the whole, Punk, Seth, and Roman stuff. So this is all just building up to basically War Games at the end of the day, man. But
For
it
sure.
wasn't bad. You know what I thought, dude? Imagine how cool they could have done the Crown Jewel stuff this year if instead of Cody as champion, it was Sammy facing Seth at Crown Jewel as champion after, all that stuff they had earlier in the year with like, Seth trying to get Sammy to go to SmackDown and be world champ over there. That would have been so much cooler, dude. But I do like the history between these two, and it wasn't a bad start to Raw.
No, for sure. So, yeah, I definitely get your point with like the Cody thing. However, I do not want to see him hyping up Seth Rollins as this gets
No.
heated up, because the only reason I was okay with it for this was because, for the most part, Rollins likes Cody because of the
Yeah.
history that they do have, which is why I didn't entirely mind it here. Like I said, it was more of like, as this goes on, I obviously don't want to see this, because obviously as time goes on, we all know that like, Rollins more than likely is going to be having the Vision, whoop this guy's ass. So I
Mhm.
definitely want to see more of that aggression, or more of that aggression, and more of that, Cody Rhodes, posing the question of, what have you become? You've become everything that you've hated. For now, I'm okay with it, because up until this point, these two don't really have any bad blood. They're kind of just being posed up against each other for a fucking championship ring. But, they don't, again, I didn't really mind the hyping up here, but I don't want, as time goes on, Cody Rhodes to continue to hype the man up and stuff, because obviously as this
Exactly.
gets deeper and deeper, we don't need jock Cody. We need Cody to actually be angry, because, again, for obvious reasons. But yeah, so I was okay with it for now, just because, the last time these guys seen each other, they were fighting side by side. And there is no bad blood yet, but I just know this is going to get a whole lot worse as time goes on. So hopefully we could again see a little bit more of that aggression, and Cody calling him out on pretty much becoming Roman Reigns, becoming a monster, as time goes on. So speaking of
Most definitely.
speaking of becoming a monster, the Usos.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, spoiler alert, this has actually probably been my favorite part of Monday Night Raw for a minute. This
Oh,
or
100%.
at least the past couple weeks, whenever they started doing this Jey Uso, angry shit, because it is so awesome seeing him become Roman Reigns. I can't lie,
Dude,
man.
he's so much better when he's like frustrated and mad, dude. He's
Yes,
fucking really good.
great. Yeah, he's phenomenal. So Jey Uso, or Jimmy Uso, rather, walks up to Jey Uso and he asks him if he's good. He says, us losing to these fools at WrestlePalooza, that's all trash. Yeah, it was. The whole show was.
It
So
was.
he says, I know we can beat the Bronze. So I went to go talk to AP to give me a rematch. He ended up telling me you made yourself your own match against LA Knight tonight. He says, I have to ask, do you honestly think that's a good idea? You just got busted open. Jay, he then cuts off Jimmy. Jimmy was trying to tell him, you guys got to squash this. He cuts Jimmy off, and he says, look, I did. He says, I didn't have time. I didn't even have time to wipe blood off my Air Forces. Wow, getting it back in blood, I guess. On the forces.
Really getting it back in blood.
He says we would have won at WrestlePalooza if LA Knight wasn't the ref. He says the Vision also would have took care of LA Knight if you wouldn't have tagged with him last week. Jimmy says, wait, so you're trying to blame me for this now? Jay says no. All I'm saying is we got a lot to handle. And that is all going to be fixed soon. As soon as I body LA Knight. Very interesting. Very interesting. This would obviously get a whole lot more interesting later in the night with Jay, but a very Roman move. Whenever they lose, it's always somebody's fault. It's never his. So I like that, man. I like that. He's essentially blaming LA Knight for them losing, and then in turn tried to go ahead and blame Jimmy because saying, you know, we should have just let the Vision kill his ass, but you had to tag with him. So I like it, man. I like it. What can you say, man? What can you say? But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, man. And there will be a whole lot more later in the night for these guys to expand upon. I would rather an Uso segment than a Judgment Day Clubhouse segment.
Literally, man. Literally. I love this segment. I love serious, angry Jay. I think it's fucking amazing. I love how, like, unhinged and just, you know, quick to burst he is, man. I think it's really sick, and I like where they're going with this, man. I really do.
100%. Speaking of liking where they're going, or the exact opposite, Penta and the War Raiders versus New Day and Grayson Waller.
Well, it's not New Day and Grayson Waller anymore. It's just a New Day. Because he's a member of them now.
I don't want to talk about this.
No. No. There's no point.
We ran this, or they ran this when they were in Paris. Can you explain to me why you're doing this again? Or is there just an idiot back there that continues to multiple idiots back there that think that this is good television? I mean, are you kidding me? Pentagon hit an avalanche Mexican destroyer to Grayson Waller, and that was that. I don't care to talk about this, man. I really don't. All of these guys should not be in the position they are. This is absolutely trash. Get it the fuck off television, please. Unless you actually have good creative for these guys, get everybody off television, effective immediately. Get everybody off of television. This is doing more harm than good at this point.
Literally, man, get them all off TV. This is fucking horrible. It's pointless, it's meaningless, and it's a waste of all of these guys.
So, we have the Judgment Day. Yay.
Hey.
The Judgment Day are in the clubhouse. Dominic runs up to them and he asks Finn to take care of Rusev for him. Finn says, well, Mr. I got everything handled by myself. What happened? Dominic says, well, the Judgment Day, you know, we stick together. You know, you guys got to help me. Finn then asks him, well, what about your amigo, El Grande Americano? Finn says, I'm sorry, man, but I'm busy tonight, as he fucking holds up a Nintendo Switch. Dominic then asks JD for help. You know, one thing that annoys me about the Judgment Day Clubhouse segments, I don't know if you ever noticed this, I'm sure you have.
Mm.
Do you ever notice when, like, they're all standing in a group, but Dominic will be like, hey, JD, come over here for a minute. And he, like, takes one step forward, and they talk as if the other fucking members are not standing right next to them.
Literally, they're in a literal circle talking, and then the camera just focuses on two of them and act like that's a whole separate area of a conversation.
Dude.
Every time.
So, JD says, no, you said you didn't need any help. Roxanne then butts in and then tells JD, you need to help Dominic because we're the Judgment Day, we're a family, and we all stick together. JD says, okay, I'll do it, but it's not for you, it's for the Judgment Day. Dominic then says, oh, okay, well, I already made it official, appears it's going to be you versus Rusev tonight. So, that was that. And yeah, it's Judgment Day segment. It would get a little more interesting. I use that term loosely. It would get a little more interesting later in the night, but I mean, this was your typical Judgment Day. Everybody low-key hates each other, yet they spend every week with each other segment. I don't understand it at this point. This group is so fucking stupid, man. I'm sorry, bro, but it is ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous, so dumb, dude. It's the same thing every week for so long, and I don't get how it's still happening.
That makes two of us. Bailey and Lyra are backstage. Bailey walks up to Lyra, happy as ever. Lyra then begins to apologize about last week, obviously walking in her locker room, or whatever, without, knocking on the door. Bailey then says, no, what do you mean? Last week was great. I returned. You beat the Judgment Day. I got to beat up the Judgment Day too. It was great. Lyra then says, what do you mean? She's like, you screamed at me last week. Bailey just plays it off as if she had no idea what happened. She says, Lyra, I want you in my corner tonight. It's going to help me win. I'm going to try to impress you. It'll be great. Lyra then says, well, aren't we supposed to be staying away from each other? And then she's like, you know what? Fine. I'll be in your corner. Very interesting segment, especially what ended up happening later in the show. But yeah, this is Bailey's voices talking to her, man. So it is, I like where this is going, man. I like where this is going, and I'm interested to see what exactly the end game is here for Bailey, because her and Lyra clearly are very locked in on this story, man, and I have been enjoying it.
They are. They're very locked in on the story, man. I like it so far. I love this, Bailey character of like 1 second she's nice and happy, the second she's an absolute asshole. I like it. Lyra's confusion was actually hilarious in this segment, and it got even more interesting later in the night. I love what they're doing so far.
She plays it off great, and I really hope WWE continues to let her blossom because she can clearly
I really hope so.
She is clearly not just Bird Lady. She actually can tap into her character, and she has great emotions and facial expressions. And I really hope they just continue to let her blossom because she's going to be great if they allow her to. We then get a little awkward, or not awkward, but like we get a little brief stare down with Stephanie Vaquer and Lyra Valkyria as, Stephanie walked past her with the championship. That was a cool moment. Stephanie then comes out for her promo. It was pretty basic. Stephanie comes out. Adam Pearce announces her. Stephanie says that this is her life's dream She says she beat one of the best on the planet, Io Sky. She says she learned to be strong and never give up. Where'd you get that from? Sounds like you got that from the greatest of all time.
Go.
She says she had the best example growing up as her hero, and that is her dad. She speaks of her dad in Spanish. She speaks in Spanish in general for a little bit. She says this championship represents motivation and support that the fans gave her. She thanks the fans. She says her fire will keep making history, and nobody is going to be able to stop her. Adam Pearce says Friday, Tiffany will face Jade Cargill and Nia Jax, and the winner will face Stephanie Vacher at Crown Jewel for the Crown Jewel Championship for the women. I hope it ends up being Stephanie versus Tiffany. I hope. But we'll see.
I really fucking hope so, because any of those other two matches sound pretty abysmal, if I'm being honest, man.
And I am very scared if it does end up being Jade Cargill that they're gonna have Jade pack up Stephanie, and we're gonna have a problem on October 11th if that is the case.
Exactly. We'll have a big problem about that one. I'm very, very worried about that, but very basic, nice promo they did here. Very simple segment. Stephanie's great. I love what she did here, and really hope she faces Tiffany, dude. I really hope so.
For sure. So we got a backstage segment with Rhea Ripley. We got a backstage segment with Rhea Ripley. It's Rhea, Nikki, and Stephanie Vacher at first, and Rhea congratulates Stephanie for winning the championship. She says she's still coming for the title. Asuka walks up, and she says Io should be the champion. Rhea says to Asuka, she says, out of respect for Io, I've been trying to stay out of the way, but I am so sick of your attitude. Asuka says that she is sick of her, and she is not ready for Asuka. Rhea says, you know what? I am ready for Asuka, and how about we settle this tonight? So the main event match was made for later in the night. We then get Bayley versus Roxanne Perez, as Bayley was damn near about to lose this match. And then she started talking to herself, goes complete sicko mode, hits a Bayley to belly and a rose plant for the victory. Lyra is obviously stoked. She gets in the ring, hugs Bayley, but Bayley's all tripped out at this point. And she shoves Lyra to the ground, yelling at her, calling her, when Bayley, like heel Bayley, especially from 2020, when she gets mad and starts calling people like idiots, it's like she talks like a kid in the best way possible. Like, it's so funny the way she's like, "What are you doing, you idiot? What are you doing, you stupid idiot?" Like, oh, it always cracks me up because she pushes Lyra down and she's like, "Why are you hugging me, you idiot? Stay away from me." And then Lyra's like, "What?" And then Bayley's getting out of the ring and she's telling her like, "No, you what? You what, you idiot?" And like, obviously Lyra's just looking at her like, "Yo, what the fuck is wrong with you?" Like, what? Again, I love this. I love what these two women have been doing, man. And, can't complain, man. I can't complain. This is, it does make me wish that a small piece of me does wish that, like, the IC championship was involved with this, but I guess I can understand that, they probably want Becky Lynch to go ahead and drop that thing to AJ Lee, so I get it. I get it. But even saying that, man, that's not even to really say that Lyra and Bayley needs the IC championship, because I honestly think they've been doing really good work. It's one of the Trust me, it is actually one of the more enjoyable parts of Monday Night Raw. At least it's something that I find myself enjoying a lot of half the time.
Most definitely, man. I really enjoy this. It's one of my favorite parts of Raw too. I love just, the way they tell this story, man. Bailey's great. I love this whole switching, character of Bailey, and she plays both very well. Lyra plays it very well, and I love what they're doing, man. And I'm very excited to see it continue and see, what the end game to it is. And I love it so far. One of my favorite parts of Raw.
Absolutely. We got Cody and Slim, or sorry, Jay Slim
Jeez.
backstage. That that was one of the funniest, bro. Cody Rhodes is walking backstage and he walks up to Jimmy and he fucking calls him Jay Slim.
What's
Bro.
up, J Slim?
Dude,
Bro, what?
that killed me. Jay Slim. He daps up Jay Slim, and Cody asks about Jay. He says, "How's your brother?" Jimmy says, he's all in his head right now. He's not listening to me, so maybe he'll listen to you. Cody says, "Okay, I can talk to Jay." We then get JD McDonough coming out to absolutely one of the worst fucking theme songs I've ever heard in my life. We go to commercial, and then when we come back, we get this segment with Cody and Jey Uso. He finds Jay in the locker room. He daps him up. He says, "Hey, I spoke to your brother, Jimmy, and he's worried about you." Jay says, "Yeah, Jim's always tripping, but I'm good." Cody says, "Well, if you weren't good, I've been there. Highs and lows, wins and losses." He says, "I understand. People isolate themselves." He says, "I've been on the biggest stage, and I failed on more than once." He says, his family, his fans, his friends, we all believe in you, man. Jay then says, "Man, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. I'm going to find my way back to the top." And the glaring thing from this whole promo was nothing that Cody Rhodes was saying. Because Cody is just completely not paying attention to Jay's face at all. Cody's dead ass just looking up, just staring off into space, just telling him the most rah-rah motivational shit. But if you look at Jay, this is where the beauty in this whole promo came from. If you look at Jay's face, he doesn't give a shit about a fucking word Cody Rhodes is telling him. Because Cody set his championship down on the table, and Jay's just staring at it the whole time. And it made me wonder, is Jay gonna team with the Vision at War Games?
Oh, very, very interesting. He might.
Because, and the only reason I say that is what happened later in the night. He was gonna sick him on LA Knight, okay? He didn't give a shit. However, the whole time, this man, he couldn't give a shit. He couldn't give a rat's ass about what Cody Rhodes was telling him. This man was fixated on the championship, and that, to me, took the segment to a 10. Because that was an awesome detail that they threw in there, because Jey Uso, the guy who was the most humble, the guy who had the biggest heart out of the bloodline. Remember, this guy was crying when they kicked Sami Zayn out of the bloodline. This guy is turning into a monster. That is pretty awesome. That is pretty fucking awesome.
Very fucking awesome. I love what they're doing here. He really is. I love this segment. Cody being in his own fucking world in his little jock motivational speech.
Dude.
Doesn't even notice. Bro, like, dead ass just staring off in his face.
Like,
just,
"I've been on the biggest stage. I failed. And he's like so giddy for some reason to tell him all about all his life traumas. He's like, I've been on the biggest stage, I failed, but just know the highs and the lows, we all believe in you, man. And Jay just couldn't be more eager to just stare at that championship, man. And that was
It was
awesome to
perfect,
me.
dude. It was. It was really awesome. The way Jay just, kind of, you can tell he may tried a little bit to pay attention to Cody, but dude, he was just staring at that title the whole fucking time, dude,
Yeah.
and just saying the most, "Yup, yeah, I get you, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah,
you,"
yeah.
during the most
Yep.
not listening fucking phrases ever. All Cody was talking. It was perfect, dude. It was a really good fucking segment, and dude. Like he might be teaming with the Vision at War Games, man. This is a different side of Jey Uso. This is the one with the heart in the group doing all this. It's great, dude. I love it.
Yep. Absolutely. We then get Rusev versus JD McDonough. Okay.
My dog. Okay. God,
Rusev
these Raw matches are just man.
Rusev brother. Rusev wins with an accolade, which I don't know if anybody peeped this. He did not say Rusev Machka. He said game over before he did it. So a little
Little
I don't know
callback.
if maybe it was like by accident or whatever, but he said game over. The match ends. Rusev keeps the accolade in, and Dominic gets up on the apron to try to stop Rusev and just backs off. To where Finn Balor had to come out here, rip Rusev off of him, give him a 1916. He got in Dominic's face and basically tried to ask him what his problem was. He then ran back over to Rusev and gave him a clothesline outside of the ring. Let's stop right there, because now we're doing the same thing you did with Damian Priest. So we've heard all the rumors that WWE wants Dominic to be the babyface out of all of this, and they want to turn Dominic babyface. Now, you cannot fucking tell me Finn Balor, again, for the second time, is not in the right here. Because
Yeah.
Dominic is watching his boy get slimed out and fucking bent in half with an accolade, and you just stand there? Yet you can't try to portray to me, again, that Finn Balor is the heel out of all this when he's helping his friend and doing the right thing. Very similar to how Damian Priest would just come out and cost Finn Balor a title shot, yet when Finn turned on him, they tried to act like Finn was the bad guy for that. Like, obviously I'm a fuck you over because you just fucked me over twice and then told me to get over it.
Literally, dude. Literally, man. It's so frustrating they do this shit because they're gonna make him the fucking baby face when he's doing all the dickhead shit. And Finn
Yep.
came out there to help his friend JD. And it's gonna be the same exact shit story it was the first time, just repeated, and it makes no sense.
So Finn and Dominic go up they're carrying JD up the ramp, and Finn is just laying it in on Dominic. He's like, dude, when something like that's happening, you need to help. And Dominic's like, no, I was gonna help. He's like, dude, no, you weren't. You were watching him. JD's just trying to get both of them to stop fighting. Again, you cannot tell me now that Finn Balor is not in the right here.
No, he's literally in the fucking right. He's been in the right the whole time. And they still make him some weird evil dickhead heel for some reason.
I don't get it. LA Knight is in the back. He is talking to Jackie Redmond, and she asks him if his reffing led to the Usos losing. He said whatever happened at WrestlePalooza, he was just trying to make sure Jay was okay. Next thing you know, he shoved me to the side, and boom, he was speared through a table. He says, if he is mad at all, I don't know what to tell him. I don't want to hurt him, but if he has a problem with me, I will give him a BFT for all of his troubles, and bust him open again. So we then get this Jey Uso versus LA Knight match. LA Knight was on the verge of winning, yet the Bronze distracted LA Knight getting on the apron. LA Knight fought them off, but then got in the ring, speared, and then he was speared by Jay, and then splashed by Jey Uso for the victory. Jey Uso goes up the ramp, and Jimmy comes out, and he says, Jay, we got to help him, man. They're going to kill him. And what does Jey Uso do? He walks away.
Damn. Just fucking throws his hands up, basically says, let
Oh,
him,
well.
let him
Yep.
kill him. Yeah. And fucking walks away, dude. It was great.
It was
I
awesome.
loved this fucking segment. I loved the fact that he didn't care they helped him win. And he didn't care that LA Knight was about to get fucking destroyed by those guys. And, Jimmy, being the good person he is trying to, rally Jay and, get him to help. And he just refused, man. This is a very different Jey Uso, and I love it. I love where it's going, dude. I love this story they're telling. Jimmy ended up helping LA Knight, of
Yep.
course, grabbed a chair, was able to fend the Bronze off, whatever. But love it, dude. Love this Jey Uso character, man. I love where it's going.
Yes. User 456 says WWE so right now. Indeed they are. They and if I get and if there's one beacon of hope on Monday Night Raw, it is actually this Jey Uso story. I've really been loving where they're going with this. So again, Jimmy's standing there with Jay, and he says, "Dude, we got to help him. They're gonna kill him, bro." Jay walks away. So Jimmy, in a state of panic, he grabs a chair. He runs down there, and right before the Bronze can get in the ring, he stands there with the steel chair. And Paul Heyman, I don't know if you caught this, Paul Heyman is just grabbing Braun's arm, and he's just saying, no, 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 no. So he eventually, hilarious. So, you mean the Oracle? So he eventually gets them to, he eventually gets the Bronze to back off, and I would really like if they portrayed both of them as unhinged monsters. You ever notice how, like, everybody was always trying to calm Braun Breaker down? And then why is Bronson Reed standing there, like, so calm half the time? Like, I want him to show a little bit of that dog as well, you know?
Yeah, sure. And I do like how he's like a calmer one of the two and more collected, but also like let him
Sometimes he's
want to
too
destroy
calm.
these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, let him want to destroy these people to prove himself, man. He's too calm, like you said.
So I loved it. I loved it, man. And yeah, this Jey Uso thing, like I said, it's probably got to be between the Jey Uso or the Bailey stuff. That's some of my favorite stuff on television right now. And yeah, I loved it, man. I love, how just the dynamic between Jimmy and LA Knight. It's just kind of like, I think it's a really cool contrast to what's going on with Jay, because Jimmy sees nothing wrong with LA Knight. He actually likes LA Knight. And then you have Jey Uso, the guy that's always been, a cool guy.
Hmm.
Has such a problem with LA Knight to the point where, again, he was just going to let them kill the man. Or he was going to let the Bronze just kill the man. So I really liked it, man. And I really like what they've been doing a lot. And it's been really nice. It's been really nice. So there you go.
Most definitely.
We then get Becky and Seth backstage. I don't know what the point of this was at all.
I have no clue. Becky's back there doing this whole fucking speech
Dude.
about fucking whatever the fuck, just rambling. Um, and then she says she's gonna go make an example and walks off. I have no clue
And
what
then we
that
never
was. We
seen her for
didn't.
the rest of the night.
Yeah, we didn't see her for the. What was the example she went to make? Is she still mad about AJ? Because what like Cody related thing is she gonna go make an example? Is she gonna go
Right.
beat up Brandy in her bus? What the fuck is going on? What is she gonna do? What was the point of that? I like Seth's part. Funny enough, Seth is really interesting when he's silent. Just looking at the Rolex, that was actually a really cool element to it, like just contemplating. But man, what the fuck was Becky going on about, man?
I don't know what she was going to go make an example out of. Again, I don't know if it was Brandy. I don't know if she's still mad at AJ Lee. Also, too, there was no mention or sight of CM Punk tonight. So,
No, no mention of
like,
them.
what is up
Like,
with that? You know,
what are
it
they
is.
gonna do up till Crown Jewel? What is Punk gonna do up till Crown Jewel? Is the real question.
Yeah, and I'm like, again, I'm just kind of like, what exactly is she going to make an example out of? Like you said, is she going to drive to Chicago and slime out AJ Lee? Is she going to go to Cody's bus and slime out Brandy Rhodes? Is she going to go fuck up a Grand Slam breakfast at Denny's? I mean, I don't know what I don't know what you're going to make an example out of here. Are you going to get some late night White Castles and make an example out of that? I mean, what are we talking about here? I don't know, but she's in the back and she's pacing back and forth, and she is talking to Seth about, Cody Rhodes being a liar and a phony. She says he goes on about the fans, and then he says I'm lovely. She says I'm not lovely. I'm the best women's wrestler of all time. It's not just me saying it. Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated. I can't remember the other one, but the other one was
PWI,
ESPN. Um,
was it PW Illustrated or is it Sports Ill? No, there was
Sports
another one in there.
Sports Illustrated, ESPN, and I can't remember the other one.
I
But
can't remember the third one. Damn it! It was hilarious though.
she says, "You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make an example." And he walks off. And Seth Rollins, in typical fashion, with sometimes what you got to do to the misses. He was not paying attention at all. He was absolutely not paying attention at all. He was dead ass just looking at his watch. I don't think he heard a single word she was saying. Which, hey, so we all
Well,
been there.
shit
Sometimes
happens.
you can't blame that. This guy hasn't been there, but he
No,
be
I'll be
listening.
locked in.
He be locked in. But um,
That's a
but
different story.
hey, can't say I haven't been there myself. So I definitely respected sometimes Rollins. Sometimes you got to take the high road, man, and just not pay attention. Sometimes that's just what's best. But I don't know what the fuck this meant at all. I wish I can give you guys some sort of analysis on this. I have absolutely no idea what this example is. When I tell you I have
No,
no idea, I shit you not. So
genuinely no clue. I'm gonna be shocked for whatever it is. So they're gonna have my shock factor there because I have no clue.
man. So we have Rhea in the back with Io. And Io goes up to Rhea. She finds Rhea Ripley getting ready for her match, and she asks if Rhea Ripley can call off the match tonight. Rhea says this match has to happen. She says maybe me and Asuka can beat the respect into each other like we did. She says, Io, just please be careful with trusting Asuka. Io says, what do you mean? I'm not here without Asuka. Asuka is family. Rhea says, that's why you have to look out, because sometimes you can't trust family. Obviously, it's a little bit different because of the whole Judgment Day stuff with Rhea, so she's been there, done that. Io, sometimes it's true in real life too, but I digress. Io,
Unfortunately,
Io says, Io says no, I can trust Asuka. And she walks off. Or she says, I can trust Asuka. Can I trust you? Rhea says, I didn't mean it like that. So here's where things got annoying, but then really interesting, almost to the point where I was ready to come on here and bury WWE, but they saved their own ass. So we get a video package for El Grande Americano, where El Grande Americano revealed Los Americanos, which is the 3 El Grande Americanos. I guess they're a faction now. Just the
Good
faction I wanted to
Lord.
see.
That's exactly how I want to see Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate as fucking Los Americanos.
Yep, this is
Thanks,
exactly what
thanks,
I had
Triple
in
H.
mind. This is exactly what I
Thanks,
had
man.
in mind for Bate and Dunn. So after the match, Maxine Dupree is asking for a match next week. I believe this was supposed to be for Alpha Academy against Los Americanos. I'm not really gonna hold you guys. I wasn't paying attention too hard. It's just it's Maxine Dupree. At the end of the day, but things got a whole lot more interesting when AJ Styles and Dragon Lee walk up and they say they want a match against Los Americanos next week. And what pissed me off was there was no John
None.
Cena mention, as if this dude did not tweet out prior to this show, hashtag Cena versus Styles, thoughts, hashtag WWE Raw. I was pissed, and I was ready to come on here and bury the shit out of that. However, boy, do I got a picture to show you guys. Because we got a tweet. Boy, did we get a tweet from Triple H about an hour ago. And he tweeted out this fucking picture that you see. And Triple H puts, John Cena versus AJ Styles is a match we all want to see. And at Crown Jewel, we will. First of all, you asshat, don't fucking act like you were going to give us this match the whole time, because it took Mr. I don't lobby to work with anybody. It took that man to tweet out and apply pressure for you to give us this match. So don't take credit now, Triple H, because all we have to thank is the same man that we have to thank for everything on his farewell tour. Anything that has ever went right in this farewell tour is because of this man. And you see him on your screen. He's to your left. He's the greatest of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting it. We are getting John Cena versus AJ fucking Styles. John Cena and AJ Styles, you guys, especially for you guys who tap in with the shorts, I know you guys are probably tired of hearing these clips of me talking about how much we fucking need this match. And we are getting it, bro. AJ Styles versus John Cena, dude. I am fucking pumped to see this match, bro. This AJ, his favorite rival of mine is John Cena, and John Cena's one of my favorite Cena rivals. I don't know he's number one, but it's definitely AJ Styles. These two, this match absolutely needed to happen on the farewell tour. There was absolutely no reason for you not to do this match. These two are synonymous with each other's careers. Some of the greatest matches I've ever seen from either guy, and I am pumped, bro. John Cena versus AJ Styles. Let's fucking go. This is the shit you should have been giving us all fucking year.
Literally, dude. Literally. This is the type of shit, this is the type of energy we needed from this retirement tour this whole year. We're getting it here. I'm so excited, dude. I'm glad Triple H finally fucking hit big pressure and made this match official, dude. It's gonna be fucking amazing. I'm excited for the match. I'm very curious to see how they're gonna have AJ build this match, because does Cena have any Raw appearances before the match?
I believe
I don't
not.
think so. Yeah, I didn't think so either. So it's gonna be up to AJ and up to both of the guys on social media to build this match. But The match kind of built itself. The excitement for this image alone on Twitter already is all the build you need, and I'm fucking excited, dude. I'm eating them pancakes, happy as fuck, watching this goddamn match. I'm excited. This is the type of match, this type of energy we needed from this retirement tour this whole time, man. Thank you, John Cena, finally lobbying for something, and you lobbied for the right fucking thing, man. I'm so
Yes.
excited.
That's why he's the GOAT.
He's the
Because,
fucking dude.
man. And two, also, I was going to come on here and talk about this other tweet he sent out because obviously yesterday we get hashtag Cena versus Styles thoughts. Today he puts out, I do not choose my opponents, but I, even through tough times, will always listen to the fans. At AJ Styles, are you listening? Better yet, at Triple H, are you, he puts you in all caps, listening? Cena versus Styles. And fucking AJ Styles, he tweeted something back like, I'm ready, let's do it, or something like that. And then obviously we get the tweet from Triple H talking about this is a match we all want to see. Motherfucker. So there's a news we have to go through on Friday, where it talks about how that was the last match they planned with Cena and Lesnar. No, it wasn't. I'm gonna tell you right now, it was not. They seen the reaction and they scrapped it. Because Triple H, I know Triple H felt pressure because people have been coming down on him since Saturday after he did what he did to John. Don't bullshit us. We were going to get another Brock. I guarantee you we were going to get another Brock match at Crown Jewel. Triple H felt the pressure and was like, well, there's only 5 dates left. Why are we doing another Brock match? I guess maybe our audience, that's a fucking point. And maybe we should not go through with that. Let's give him the AJ match while we still got the time. I can commend Triple H for that. However, I still cannot commend him for even thinking that that was a good idea in the first place. Why would you think people want to see? I hardly wanted to see another Cody match. What would make, if I didn't want to see another Cody match, what the fuck would make you think I wanted to see another Brock match?
Literally, dude. Literally made no goddamn sense, man. Made no sense. But finally getting this, and I can't wait for Friday to talk about the details of that. Cause yeah, they done had to change the plan because that shit was ass.
But if WWE wanted to do some cool stuff, he does have 2 Raw appearances in November. So one thing you could do that could be pretty dope is just throw 2 matches in there. Sure, you can have him build the war games, but if you want to have him start the show with, a promo building to war games and then end the show with a random ass match against Fatu and a random ass match against LA Knight, and throw it in there, bro. Then just fucking throw it in there. I wouldn't mind. I don't know anybody that would be upset with that. But yeah, I seen all the reports about that stuff with Brock, and it was the that this was the last match. No, it wasn't. They planned for 2 matches because they thought it was a good idea. Why they thought that, I don't know, but you can't tell me that was their no. Nah, you ain't fooling me. I don't know who you're fooling, but it ain't me. There was 100% going to be another Brock match in there, and that just is absolutely ridiculous to me. However, we're getting the match, and I am so stoked with it, man. I was ready to come on here and bury it, man, because they just had AJ trotting around facing
homie Dragon.
Yeah, trotting around with his boy Dragon Lee, fighting the Americanos, and made absolutely no mention of it. I thought WWE was going to be tone deaf about it. And I'm glad. I am glad that Triple H did listen to the audience, man, because he is fucked up with choice of opponents one too many times this year. One too many times.
Oh, truly has, man. He really has, and this is your way to commend some of that shit, dude. Is this fucking match right here?
And you are lucky that anything good to have come out of this tour completely falls on John Cena. You are lucky to come across a superstar with that level of fucking greatness. Because if you didn't,
You really
this
are.
year would have been a complete train wreck.
It really would have been a complete fucking train wreck. Train wreck. They're so lucky John Cena's a goat and he knows what he's doing.
And the main event was Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. It was a good match. It was a pretty good match. Rhea Ripley ended with a roll-up. Afterwards, Asuka was pissed and misted Rhea Ripley, misted the hell out of her. I mean,
The
her,
life out of her.
her whole upper body was just completely like green. So
she looked like she was in Avatar, bro.
100%, 100,000%, man. So she then 6 Kairi Sane on Rhea Ripley. And Kairi, bro, is just hitting the weakest strikes. I mean, dog, what the fuck was that? This was some sort of heel turn, and it gets even worse. So, Io Sky comes out there, and she begs Rhea, or she begs Asuka to stop hitting Rhea. And she's, putting her hands up, she's telling her to stop and all this stuff. And Asuka starts crying. She hugs Io, and then she gives her a spinning back fist. Looked weak as hell. I mean, dude, you're Asuka, bro. I know damn well you got something in the chamber better than that. And then it gets even worse because she's 6 Kairi on Io now. And when I tell you, these strikes looked like they did not hurt one bit. I mean, I think the women in the Divas era had some better strikes than that. That was supposed to be a heel turn. And then they get Io up and they hold her up. And Io's trying to sell this. And it looks even worse because what are you selling? There's nothing to sell. And then Asuka did hit Io with a pretty good back kick. It was the only good thing to come out of that. But dude, Kairi Sane, what was that? Those were some of the absolute worst strikes. For a heel turn that's been built up for about 3 weeks, those were some of the weakest, lamest strikes I think I have ever seen. That was so bad.
Literally, dude. Yeah, Kari really was so weak in that heel turn, man. I don't get it. And I don't get the whole crying while beating her up thing. Pick a side. I get you don't want to do it, but be more remorseful, not just straight out crying while she's beating them up. I don't know. I didn't like the Kari side of it, dude. I really didn't. Asuka, that one hit was weak, man. Other than that, she was doing pretty all right, man. But I don't know, man. I like the turn. I'm glad they did it, and that was a cool moment. But man, they just made it look weaker than it should have looked.
It looked bad. It looked it looked really bad. It was again for a heel turn that's been built up. I expected it to be a little bit more hard hitting, or maybe a little bit more I don't know, an actual turn. It looked weak as hell, man. I was not a fan of this whatsoever. Again, I thought it looked pretty horrible. It looked like Io Sky was it was like she didn't want to sell because she didn't really get hit, but she was being forced to sell just to, again, not make everybody look even more dumb. But yeah, it looked bad. It just looked really, really, really bad, man. But I didn't understand. I didn't understand what the thought process behind Kairi's hits were. Again, it looked like shit. And again, for her to, she should have turned heel. She should have finally listened to what Asuka was telling her and just completely, went ape shit like Asuka has been doing, and again indulge in beating the shit out of them because you should have just had Asuka get in her head like, hey, looks like Io
With these
is more
guys.
friends with Rhea than she is
Mhm.
us. And Kyrie should have absolutely snapped in this point, crying while beating her up. And again, my niece has hit me harder when she was 2 years old. Okay, than those hits were. I mean that was absolutely abysmal. But we're gonna get the tag match, and hopefully in the tag match, Kairi Sane can actually learn how to throw a strike. Because again, I think we've seen harder hitting stuff in the Divas era. That was bad.
Literally, most definitely.
So that was pretty much everything, man. That was pretty much everything from Monday Night Raw. Overall, the episode of Monday Night Raw wasn't horrible. Hopefully Triple H can continue to put on a streak of Monday Night Raws that aren't horrible, and maybe sooner rather than later he could bring us back to the promised land. But will he? Probably not. We will probably be getting more New Day and Penta stuff sooner rather than later.
Probably.
Probably next week. So yeah, that is everything. That is everything I got for you guys, man.
Most definitely. Same here.
And with that being said, that is going to do it for this edition of NHP Unscripted. This has been episode 266. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us here today for another edition of Unscripted. Thank you guys for everybody who came in here, man. We got my man Gotti. We got Manager Logan, everybody in the live chat, and my guys a part of the Replay Mafia. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. It has been always a pleasure. For my Johnny.
That's okay.
And that is going to do it for this edition of NHP. Thank you guys, as always, for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all Thursday at 1 p.m. Central for another edition of NHP Gaming.
Peace.